Well, I am super excited to have my NAWBO sister with me today, Soribel, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the upcoming retreat. So, for those of you that are NAWBO members that's watching, you're going to get a little inside scoop on what we're going to be talking about in the retreat because Soribel is one of our amazing speakers. So, I'm excited to have her as a speaker slash facilitator, and she's going to be focusing on the power within NAWBO. So, we have speakers that are talking about the power within you. And then we're also going to focus on the power within NAWBO. So we're going to be talking about that in the second half of the retreat. But first, I want to share how amazing Soribel is. I'm going to go ahead and read her bio so we all know how amazing she is. And I hope I pronounced your last name right. I should have probably asked you that before I hit record, right? I don't want to butcher your last name. So tell us how do I pronounce your last name?
It's pronounced Genao. The G is an H sound.
Oh, see, Genao.
Genao.
Genao. See, I would have messed it up, so I'm glad I asked that. So Dr. Soribel Genao is a leadership practitioner, professor, and principal consultant whose work centers on developing leaders who move with clarity, integrity, and purpose. As a principal consultant of Adding Valued Assessment LLC, she partners with organizations across sectors to strengthen leadership capacity, deepen belonging, and create cultures where people and performance can thrive. That's my word for 2025. So whenever I see thrive, it stands out. So I love that. Her consulting portfolio spans strategic learning, organizational culture, and impact evaluation, also rooted in relationship, reflection, and authentic leadership practice. In her academic role as Deputy Chair and Professor of Educational Leadership at Queens College, Soribel has spent more than a decade guiding emerging and experienced leaders in understanding how identity, purpose, and practice shape the way they lead. Across classrooms, boardrooms, and community based initiatives, she helps leaders build alignment between who they are and how they show up in their work. Her approach invites leaders to slow down the pace of achievement long enough to ask a more powerful question: who am I becoming as I lead? And what does purposeful leadership require of me now? Love it, Soribel. It's all about asking those reflective questions. So I love that you even have that in your bio.
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited for us to have the conversation for today. So we just heard about how amazing you are, but I also want our readers to know, or our listeners to know, I should say, a fun fact about you. Sometimes we hear how amazing people are, and then there's like these fun facts or these unique things about them that we never get to hear in their bios.
Yes.
So share a fun fact about yourself with the audience.
If I can do this life all over again, I would have joined Misty Copeland in ballet.
Oh, wow. For some reason, I can see that for you. I really do. I see you as a ballerina. So that is amazing. I love that. And I think she just ended like her career. Wasn't it just like a new? Yeah.
The major milestone. I danced ballet and I trained as a dancer as a kid. As some would know it, you come from a Caribbean background, and the options are doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Right. Exactly. Something prestigious and makes money.
And so I was told to go the safe route, and so I did.
Awesome. I love it. Now you talked about your Caribbean background, so that opens the door to tell us what your Caribbean background is for us listening and watching.
Yeah, so my parents represent the island of Hispaniola.
Love it.
One represents each side, so I am very excited to represent both sides, Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Love it. I love it. The full island represented in one person. Love it, love it, love it. So we're here today to talk about the NAWBO retreat that's coming up. It's coming up January 11th, and it's going to be in Riviera Beach, the Singer Island, at the amazing and awesome Amrit Ocean Resort. And we really want to share with the listeners and those who are watching what the retreat is going to be about. So I kind of shared a little bit that the theme for the retreat this year is power within. We all have power within us as women business owners. we have the power already within us. So we're going to be learning some strategies and techniques to really tapping into that power within. But as members of NAWBO, because this is a members only retreat, we also have power within the organization. And sometimes you don't even realize how much power is in the room and how much power is sitting in the room. So Soribel is actually heading up that power within NAWBO section of the retreat. And she has a session that's going to be all about reimagining leadership through reflection and renewal. So share a little bit about what people can expect from your session.
Yeah, so thank you so much for opening it up with that. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is truly having us actively listen to one another. As you
Mm,
just mentioned, so many of us forget how amazing we are. And part of it, we take each other for granted because we are literally less than a foot away from each other, or we can just pick up the phone. And we remove these notions of, wow, we are so layered in so many ways. What
mhm,
else can you do? So
mm,
I'm so looking forward to not just hearing what brought us to NAWBO with one another, but what brought each of us to this journey of where we are today. And
yes.
that power of pause and reflection to say, what is it about who I was that gave me the will and power of who I am?
Mm,
Taking the time to also kind of re engage with those that we already know to
mhm,
see what else we can learn from one another without having to use what we already know to
mm,
decipher. So I'm really looking forward to the active listening session,
mhm.
but more so, what are we walking away with through those sessions?
Yeah, so important and so powerful. And one of the things you talked about, and I think you even mentioned this in your bio, is reflection. So I feel like reflection is a big word for you. So why do you think it's important for us to take time to reflect in life and in business? Like we could just keep going and going and going, right? But why do we take these moments to pause and review and reflect? Why is it important to do these types of exercises?
Yeah, so I'm a strong believer in one of the Japanese metaphors and ideas, the kintsugi,
Mm,
which means to really find the beauty in breaking apart to come back together.
mm,
And understanding what those cracks actually mean, especially when in the end they can turn into gold. And
mm,
the gold is our North Star.
yeah.
So that reflection is really a point of where do I go based on what I've already seen? And where do I want to go? And what is it that I have seen that has actually brought me here? Those moments of reflection also bring us to that place of understanding who have I become and where am I going in the becoming. Part of reflecting also reminds us that we don't have to be in the same position or do things the same way just because that's the way it's always been done. The
Mm,
most fabulous part about being a leader is that we can change these things through our own cultures, our own dynamics, the ways in which show up, shifting our mindsets, whatever that is or wherever we are, but having the ability and the capacity to want to change because why not? If it's showing that it's not working, then let's try something else. Let's reflect on that.
yeah, I love that because it's not just reflecting on, okay, I did this and this was the results, but hey, maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to become something different, right? So there's power in reflecting in order to initiate change, right? Not just as a review tactic, but how are we now using this knowledge and information to now make some major changes to improve, to be better as individuals, as an organization, so that practice of reflection is so key in being able to change and move forward. So I love that you shared that.
Correct.
So one of the things you mentioned too is about tapping into your why. So your session is also going to help us to tapping into your why. And it reminds me of the book by Simon Sinek that talks about start with why. How he talks about organizations and businesses that start with why are the most successful ones because it helps people to tap into why they do what they do. And people, follow a mission and a vision more so than the what what the product is. So why is it important for us to tap into the why of our business?
Yeah. So my good friend Diana Moore, who some of us already know, she believes in the book 10X so much.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of 10X, I also think of atomic habits.
Mm-hmm.
And why do we get to where we are? Why did we start our businesses? Why did we branch off? Clearly, there was a need for us. And at some moment, we believed in ourselves enough to know that, yes, not only are others believing in us, but we're needed.
Yeah.
That enough is in itself is the why. And
Mm-hmm.
thinking about the incremental changes. Okay, you may not have 10 times the change that you want in 10x, but those
Right.
incremental changes that you make in the everyday is also enough to answer the why.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments, those small pivots, those ideas, those thought partnerships, those are why. Why am I here? Why did I get here? I recently started a Substack,
Okay.
and part of the reason was because I recognized that for many years my modesty led a lot of my work to not be invisible, but not be as recognized. And I realized that there were so many that were losing out on the things that I had to say and what I wanted to share because I didn't want to seem as I was boasting
Mm.
or I was conceited or look at her, she's doing all these things and all she does is talk about herself. When the reality is, my vulnerability led me to this confidence
Yeah.
because the Substack speaks on my trajectory into leadership through the most vulnerable moments.
Mm.
For me, that was my why. I
Yeah.
understood that my story needed to be heard, not because it's unique and many of us have had our own journeys to get to where we are, but my story is so fascinating that I finally had to reflect and think about how I was going to get it out and let others hear, take in, and take the time to reflect in their own practices to be
Mm.
able to understand that why for themselves.
Yeah, it's so key, tapping into that why. And we've already dropped some knowledge as far as key resources that people should really be reading. I talked about the book Start with Why by Simon Sinek, which is a TEDx talk that's super popular. So we definitely recommend that as a resource, as a business owner. As women, always think about your why, like Soribel said, why am I doing this? And this helps you to develop and be better by always tapping into the power of your why. So start with why in your business, then 10xing. How many of us want to 10x our business, 10x our results? So that book, 10x, is a powerful book. And Atomic Habits, I read that book last year or the year before, and it's super powerful. So even those three resources are great things for us to tap into to really, grow as business owners and grow as individuals. So I'm excited that in your session, we're really going to be reflecting. We're really going to get to the root of our whys. And a third thing that you're going to be doing in your session is affirmations. So why are affirmations powerful? Why should people really tap into the power of affirmations?
Yeah, so neuroscientists forever have proven how our thoughts are the leading causes to who we become and where we get to.
Mm,
There have been many, many. Joe Dispenza is a great example of how he was critically ill and his own thoughts changed that.
mhm,
And him waking up every single day and affirming how no, he was going to be there the next day was enough to find a cure because it starts from within. Your thoughts are so powerful, so,
mm,
so powerful. And one of the major points in our retreat is really understanding the power of words,
mhm.
the language. We have so many words in the English language. Everything can be named. Um,
Right.
so it is so important for us to put the right words together, right?
Mhm.
And use these words for our benefit.
Yeah.
and understanding what we're grateful for. But even when we think about our business, truly believing with every fiber in our being that we are successful, that
Yeah.
showing up is already more than half the battle. And the idea that you are because we are is enough to bring us together. So
Yeah.
affirming presence and power every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. The power of our thoughts, the power of our words to
Mhm.
affirm that and to do it collectively as a group, doing group affirmations is super powerful. So I'm definitely excited for that exercise. So I'm excited to have Soribel as one of our speakers slash facilitators for the Power Within NAWBO. And just want to remind everyone, if you haven't already gotten your ticket, go ahead and get your ticket. If you're a NAWBO member and you're listening to this and you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I want to encourage you to go ahead and go to the NAWBO website. I think I have it up here. Let me show the link. The NAWBO event website and go to NAWBOSouthFlorida.com, click on events, and then click on January because it is in the January section, January 11th. And go ahead and register for the retreat and join us for these powerful sessions. Again, we're going to have the power within you, and then we're also going to have the power within NAWBO. So you don't want to miss this. And if you are listening to or watching this in the month of November, we have an early bird special. So get your early bird ticket. It's only $99 and the price will be going up. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and register and join us for the retreat. So Soribel, what would be some final words or things that you would want to say to encourage members to join us for the retreat?
Show up. We're going to have a great time. We are going to have a great time while we are going to be learning and taking in so much of what everyone here has to offer. We are looking forward to re engaging, reimagining, and reflecting with one another. Yeah, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am too, for sure, for sure. Well, I want to encourage everyone to join us. And also, if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about the work that you do in the Word Soribel, all the amazing things you're doing, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
Through LinkedIn, my name, Soribel Genao. I am probably going to be the first one that shows up. And I am also my website, soribelgenao.com. That will lead you to every way to connect with me.
Awesome. So definitely connect with Soribel. And also, I wanted to mention if you are not a member of NAWBO, I do want to encourage you to look into it. If you're in the South Florida area, go ahead and consider joining because when you join, then you can join us at retreat. And you'll also get all the amazing benefits, obviously, of being a member of the National Association of Women Business Owners. So I do also want to use this opportunity to encourage people to learn a bit more about NAWBO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, and consider joining us because it's a great community of like-minded women business owners. So thank you so much, Soribel. I've enjoyed our conversation, and I'm looking so forward to having you lead us out with reflection and really tapping into our why and also affirming where we need to be going in 2026 as we start off the year and retreat together.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I too am looking forward to seeing you and everyone else.
Awesome. Thanks, Soribel.
Bye.